Hey students, in our last video, I showed you how to open up your Shed for Editing file in Revit through our AWS that we're using on our Chromebooks. In this assignment, you will be adding in something called a component. Specifically, we're going to be adding in a window component, and then we're going to be adding something called dimensions to that window. Dimensions are incredibly important to all construction workers and all architects because they tell the person building the building exactly where to put the window or the door or the wall or whatever feature it is that you are adding. So last video, I also showed you a quick tour of your Revit. Remember that in Revit, on the ribbon on the left, you should always see your properties and your project browser. If you do not see those, please contact your teacher so you can get those visible. Another little pointer, if you have access to a mouse to plug into your Chromebook, you're going to find Revit to be a lot easier. I will often in my lesson default to what to do with a mouse, but when we are clicking on a trackpad, it is exactly the same process. Just like on your mouse, you can also scroll on your trackpad, which is just two fingers sliding up and down. If you scroll on Revit, you'll see that we zoom in. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom in on my shed. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a component called a window. So I'm going to go over here in my architecture tab. If you were checking out the view tab, be sure you switch back to architecture, and I'm going to click on window. Now we already have some pre-loaded windows to add into our shed, but we don't want to add in a fixed window. Fixed windows means that they don't open. So I'm going to switch that. I'm going to go from fixed, clicking on the word fixed, and I'm going to scroll down. You can see that I have a couple of different window options. In your home, you may have a casement, or you may even have a double hung window. You may also have a sliding window. Those are the three most common types of windows to have in a home. I want everybody for this particular assignment to add a 34-inch by 36-inch casement window. To do that, you find it in your list, look for the casement window, click on it, bring your cursor in, and you'll see that when I bring my cursor to a wall, it will drop it in. Don't click yet. I want to click this and add it when it is right in the middle. So I'm looking for my two numbers, the numbers in blue on the top and bottom, to be the same. And they are right now. So I'm going to click to add. Now I have a casement window added. I'm going to click on this. Actually, I'm just going to leave it just like that. And I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard. All right, there we go. Or click on my mouse. That is the only window I'm going to add to my shed at this point. Later on, we can add some more. Now that I have a window added, I am going to go to the Annotate tab. In my Annotate tab, when I get there, there we go. In my Annotate tab, I'm going to add some dimensions to some specific parts of my shed. First thing, let's just start out with something real basic. Let's just add a dimension for a wall. So let's go to the linear dimension tool, and we are going to find the top two corners of the rectangle shape that we have on our screen. I'm going to click on this top corner, and I'm going to click on this top corner. And then I'm going to bring my mouse up. This is going to take 3 clicks to get my dimension to add. So I'm going to click right here. Now I have a dimension. This tells the builder that this shed is exactly 16 feet by 12 feet on the outside of the building. Now, if for any reason your dimensions don't snap to the outside, it's so easy in Revit to just click on those little blue dots and it will change where the dimension is pulling from. When we're talking about an architecture style that is a residential type of architecture, it is going to dimension outside walls, or code is to dimension outside walls to the outside walls. We don't want to dimension to the middle or the inside of that exterior wall. Now that we have our exterior walls dimensioned, let's add some dimensions to our window and our door. To dimension windows and doors, we're going to use a little bit different annotate tool. Rather than linear, we're going to switch to aligned. I found that when we use aligned, it lets us pop to the center of a window or a door, which is where we dimension to when we're talking about windows and doors. So I've already snapped to the center of this window. I'm going to click on the center of that window, and then I'm going to go to the middle of the wall to click, and then I'm going to click a third time, and I want this dimension to be a little bit closer to my building than my full wall dimension. Now that I've added that, I'm going to click right here to bring that dimension and snap it to the outside, just like we did for our 16-foot wall. So that one is good to go. I'm going to do the same thing on this door. So I have the center of the door. Notice how it snaps right to the center of the door, to the center of this same top wall. I'm going to bring it out. I do not ever want to cross my dimension over a dimension, so I'm going to drop that in here, nice and tight to the building. And then I have one more click, or two. Yep, two it is. So the two dimensions are lined up. Remember, we go to the exterior. Now, last thing we're going to do for this step for today is we're going to actually move where this door is at. So to move the door, we're going to click on the Modify tool. We're going to click on the door, and we're going to find this 5-foot dimension. You're going to click on it one time, and you can type it in. Now, yours might be a little different. It might not be 5 feet right now. Doesn't matter. We're all going to change it to 2 feet, 6. Hold down your shift and hit the quote mark. 6 inches. 2 feet, 6 inches. That should look familiar from your US measurement unit. I'm going to hit enter. Now you can see how it moved my door and it changed this dimension. I'm going to click on the white background, and you can see I just have my dimensions for the top wall, for the window, the door, and the door has been moved, and I have a dimension that was already existing. At this point, this is where I want you to take a screenshot of your progress for today and submit that screenshot on to Schoology. It's super important at this point. If you haven't yet saved, click on that save icon. We are saving everything right back to our Google Drive. For some of your Chromebooks, it might go a little bit faster. You can see mine was taking a little time. Don't feel stressed. Revit, that took a bit of time, sorry. Revit does not give us a warning if things are saved. What I always like to do is check on my Google Drive tab and see the last time things were saved. There it is, 142. And then you can see that it also saved an old version. So the saved files in Google, when you're saving in Revit, it saves old versions. This is my old version, and this is my new version. Old version has all the extra numbers. New version is just blank. So when I open it up next time, I can find the right file.